every single year, you see preseason All-American list for FBS programs, but you never really see it for the FCS, and you definitely don't see it for the HBCUs. So what I want to do, I thought it would be fun to make one for the HBCUs because they need it. They got dogs, especially this year. All the teams going ham and recruiting the way that they did. They need a preseason true freshman All-American list, and I am going to deliver that to you. Now, this is part one. We're going to be doing the offense. Keep in mind a few things to consider. I took the tight end position out. I could lie to you and say that I know of a tight end who's just a freshman tight end in HBCU football who's going to be amazing. I don't. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not just going to pick a random person. So instead of a tight end, I got 2 running backs. All right, now let's get right into it. First up, at the quarterback position, because you know that is the most important position on the field, we got Andre Washington, the quarterback for South Carolina State. Now listen, Andre Washington, I have dubbed him the future of the South Carolina State football program, and I mean that. I seriously mean that. I think whenever Andre Washington gets under center for the Bulldogs, it's over with. It's over with. He's not losing that job. Why? Because he has an amazing arm. At 6'4", 200 plus pounds, I love everything about his arm. I love everything about his game. There was one particular play that really just caught my eye and sold me on him when I was watching his huddle. It was him rolling out to the right, I believe. So he was so unbalanced, and he just launched that ball, what it looked like to be in the corner of the end zone, and the receiver made the catch. He dropped that ball in the bucket for the receiver to catch it. And I said to myself, nah, that kid is special. And he's going to be it. He's going to be the future for South Carolina State. Coach Pugh got him one with Andre Washington. Mark my words. Remember that name. Andre Washington coming to a field near you real soon. At the running back position, like I said, I got 2 of them. I took out the tight end position. I got 2 of them. The first one is pretty obvious. Eden James from Howard. Now, man, listen, you're the son of an NFL legend, an NFL Hall of Famer in Edgerrin James. And you, since you stepped on campus, you've been doing your thing. You know, I've been talking to some people, a person in the Howard, with the Howard program, and he's been telling me, you know, hey, Eden's holding his own. You know, you got in there. You're expected to have a lot of playing time. Your father is very confident in you. You got to play in the spring game because you enrolled early. So you already are ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. Can't wait to see what he does, man. Eden James is going to show out, in my opinion. And the other running back, Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, South Carolina State. Tyler Smith is a guy who should be Power 5. Make no mistake about it. Coming from one of the best programs in South Carolina at the high school level, the fact that he wasn't at a Power 5 school is really because of his height, or at least that's why he didn't really have the offers like that, right? I guess people considered him a little too small, but that's their loss. He's a baller. He's a baller. I'm talking about a guy with breakaway speed, cut ability, everything you want out of a playmaking running back. Tyler Smith has it. He can catch out the backfield, take it to the house as well. He's not limited in ways that you can use him. That's what I love about him. This recruiting class as a whole for South Carolina State was just amazing. And it's crazy to me that people don't know how good of athletes that these freshmen, just these freshmen, are for Coach Pugh. So Tyler Smith, man, listen. Andre Washington and Tyler Smith, when they pair up eventually in their college careers, you're going to see magic happen, and them boys is definitely bringing home a Celebration Bowl. Mark my words. After the running back position, we got the wide receiver position. You know, that's a real good topic. That's a sensitive topic, but you know we got to get on it. So at number 1, and this is in no particular order. This is no X, Y, Z receiver, none of that. Nah, this is just me and my top 4 freshman receivers. Number 1, Kevin Coleman. It's pretty obvious. The number 1 slot receiver in the country. Ever since he stepped on the field at Jackson State, nobody has guarded him. This man has not put out any bad film yet at Jackson State. He's killing dudes. Nobody can cover him. He's advanced as a route runner. He can get the separation. He's fast. He can contribute in a multitude of ways. He's going to cut up your defense in that slot. It's just a given, right? Kevin Coleman is that guy. This is what we know. You don't get to be the number one slot receiver in the country and not be that guy. So that was pretty obvious. But after Kevin Coleman, we got Ryan Peppins, Mr. Alabama or Grambling State. Now listen, I saw the clip. Grambling ain't releasing much of him. And I get it. They ain't releasing much of him. But Ryan Peppins, man, I saw that clip that they shared of him just burning whoever it was for an easy score during practice. And, this is what Ryan Peppins does. We know he's a freshman that I'm very confident is going to get a lot of playing time. Keep in mind, not everybody on this list is damn sure ain't going to start. But, at some point, we'll see they will see the field. Some way earlier than others. But, they're going to be able to contribute in some way. Now, Ryan Peppins, man, he was Mr. Alabama for a reason. He was Mr. Alabama in football for a reason. I mean, dude is just electric. You're talking about another guy who really had his pick of the litter when it came to Power 5 schools. He chose to follow Hugh Jackson at Grambling, and I love that he did that. Whoever their quarterback is, expect Hugh Jackson to find ways to get Ryan Peppins the ball because he is a guy who's going to be a game changer immediately. And I mean immediately for Grambling State. Now, after Ryan Peppins, you got Cyrus Ellison, South Carolina State. Cyrus Ellison is college ready right now. I don't know if you've seen this kid. I've been telling you about him a few times. Cyrus Ellison is college ready right now. The thing about that is he's going to be behind Shaq, of course. He's going to be behind Rakeem White, because he's an outside receiver. He's not a slot guy. But when it's his turn to get on the field, I expect him to show out. Not just from a physique standpoint, but just from a play style standpoint. He's baby A.J. Brown. Remember I said that. He's baby A.J. Brown. He has no problems mossing you. If it's a one-on-one situation, it's just about his. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just about his. When he's running routes, when he's about to go up and attack the ball midair, it looks like he's not even trying hard. Like he just reaches up so nonchalant, and he gets the ball every single time. That's what Cyrus Ellison does. His game, I love it. And then lastly, for the receivers, you got Kareem Burke of FAMU. Kareem Burke is that guy, man. Let me tell you. So Xavier Smith is going into his last year at FAMU. And when he leaves, when Jamari Sharee leaves as well, that's going to be Kareem Burke's squad. In my opinion, that's going to be Kareem Burke's squad. I think by the time that happens, by the time both of those guys leave, he's going to let it be known that he's going to be the next top dog in that FAMU receiving room. Now, I could be wrong because, I don't know FAMU's receiving room that well, but I can tell you what, Kareem Burke I do know, and Kareem Burke I'm a very big fan of. You're talking about a guy, great speed, just like Xavier Smith is able to do. He can carve you up. If it's one-on-one, you've made a mistake because he's going to run past you and he's going to get in the end zone. What I love about him and what I think is so underrated about Kareem Burke is that he's able to really torque his body into positions to make the hard catch. He lays out for the hard catch. He's a go-get-it kind of receiver. He's also a receiver who you can, really, if you want to create gadget plays for him, you can do that. Kareem Burke is that dude. And that's it for the receivers. Those are my four. Kevin Coleman, Ryan Peppins, Cyrus Ellison, Kareem Burke. Now, there are a lot of guys I wanted to put at this receiver spot, which is why I know this was a really touchy subject, right? Tyson Bordeaux, I would have loved to put Tyson Bordeaux on this list, but that's just somebody got to get left off. That's just how it goes. But I would have loved to put Tyson Bordeaux on this list. There are so many. This whole class of HBCU prospects was just rich at receiver. But, unfortunately, there could only be four. And finally, at the offensive line position, in no particular order, I'm not going to go left tackle, left guard, center, right tackle, right guard. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just name five linemen. Five linemen that I know. Number one, TJ DeMoss for FAMU. At 6 foot, 307 pounds, he was a two-star prospect coming out of high school. But what makes him so special is that he had 77 pancakes in his senior season. I'm going to say that again. He had 77 pancakes in a season. When you produce like that, how do you not expect for me to put you on this list? Now, guys, after that, Josiah Laban from Servite, who now attends Jackson State University. First of all, if you don't know about Servite, they play in the Trinity League, which is the hardest league in high school football in America. That's right. I'm not just saying that. That is actually a proven fact. They've been voted the hardest conference in high school football in America, which means Mr. Josiah Laban is battle tested. One of the most battle tested offensive lineman freshmen in the country. All this man did was face 4- and 5-star recruits on a weekly basis, not to mention every day in practice of his own team. So don't tell me that he don't deserve to be on this list. Josiah Laban is a dog. And the reason why, bigger schools weren't really calling him is because he's 6 foot. So that kind of shied them away from him. They made a big mistake. That is their loss. Because once he gets developed by Jackson State, you're going to see just how much of a dog he is. If I had to put him anywhere in the offensive line, he's definitely going to be an interior offensive lineman, of course. But whether it's guard, center, don't matter. He can play both. After Josiah Laban, we got Bernard Johnson for Grambling State University. Now, here's the thing about Bernard Johnson. He's 6'4", he's 289 pounds, and he is a phenomenal run blocker. Phenomenal run blocker. It looks like he comes from a system in high school where they prioritize the run heavily, so that is clearly his strength. I mean, once he got a hold on you, once he gets a hold on your shoulder pads, which, by the way, is great technique, not really taught a lot anymore, but when he gets his hand on your shoulder pads, he's taking you for a ride. He's taking you for a ride. The only other option you are going to have is to fall so you don't end up on somebody's tape or looking like the dude from, The Blind Side, that way he got, over the fence from Michael Lord. That's your only option. That's your only option when going against Bernard Johnson and he got a hold on you. Dude is straight up spectacular. When I made the video, I said, man, Hugh Jackson and Grambling, they got a gem in this kid. And I still feel that way. Bernard Johnson is that guy. After Bernard Johnson, though, 2 more guys left. We got Jamari Freeman. Now, Jamari Freeman, at 6'4", 300 pounds, he attends Tennessee State University. At 6'4", 300 pounds, this man is uber athletic. Listen, it was one play that I seen of him. I've seen his tape, but there was one play in particular. He was pulling, and the way he just jumped up and moved so gracefully, and got up from where he was in his stance, and he just it almost seems like he just glided to where he needed to be to make the block, the leading block for his running back. I said, wow. I said, okay, he's a big guy with some nimble feet. Like, he can really move. He's a light-footed big guy. That's what you love to see, because a lot of big dudes, they don't really have the footwork like that. He does. And here's the thing. He's just as good of a run blocker as Bernard Johnson, but he does it with speed. He's like a freight train. He's like a freight train. He's coming at you full speed. There is nothing scarier than a guy who is 6'4", 300 pounds and can move just as fast as you. Because what do you do at that point? It's like, if you're a defensive end or a defensive lineman, you're betting yourself on being more athletic than a guy who's built like that. Faster than a guy who's built like that. So you're a little bit confident going into it. But when you find out he can move just as well as you, what do you do? What do you do? That's why Jamari Freeman is on my list. And last but not least, for part 1 of this series, Moses Umorin, South Carolina State. At 6'5", 285 pounds, Moses, his mama knew what she was doing by naming that man Moses. Because all he does is part defensive lines like Moses did the Red Sea. He's that good. He's that good. Oh, Moses is a dog. 6'5", 285 pounds, man. Moses is straight up aggressive, and he makes playing offensive line look like the funnest thing in life. So listen, this video getting a little bit long, dang. Listen, man, this is my list. This is my offensive list for the HBCU preseason true freshman All-American. That is a very long name, and I'm gonna definitely shorten that, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I'm your host, Hbcu. You're watching the podcast. I'm out.